Lawns by Robbins, Hintz, and Moore. The chapter starts off on an introduction. How much do people love lawns? Well, lawn owners will take lawn care over safety factors. Educated professionals often overlook the safety cautions of chemicals to keep their lawns green, as in the case of the lady putting down pesticides to the detrimental effects on her dog. The lawn is a cultural phenomenon across the United States. Lawns, because there are so many of them, are also an environmental problem. To keep lawns green, they require a lot of water use. In addition, that greenness often comes from chemicals for keeping the grass to one type of grass and killing out weeds, and to kill off pests. These chemicals affect the ecological footprint. The runoff gets off the lawn into other parts of um, the land. In addition, care and cutting equipment are used by fossil fuels. The next section was on a short history of lawns. Lawns are actually a very old cultural phenomenon, are not actually a very old cultural phenomenon, sorry. You have turf grass, which came through the Columbian exchange of goods between the Old World and the New World. They were part originally of agrodiversity, where you have diversified agriculture on your lawn instead of one type of grass. The explosion of lawns helps with the urban island effect, where the concrete is being heated up and causing a heat exchange. Lawns help deflect that. Lawns occurred about the same time there was a big chemical revolution. Chemicals are used to keep the grass green, to kill pesticides, to keep one type of grass growing. These chemicals run off into the water. They have a high amount of nutrients, which feeds a large bloom of algae, which they deplete the oxygen in the water. This is eutrophication, and the water becomes stagnant and cannot support any more life. Lawns are part of our monoculture, where the lawns are just one type of grass growing. If you decide to have a lawn, there are some risk and chemical decision-making issues that you will encounter. Lawn hazards can include risk. You take a risk when you decide you're going to commit yourself to growing this lawn, and usually that involves using chemicals. In the use of chemicals, your risk perception may be skewed. You like to keep your lawn green, so you use chemicals and overlook the factors that those chemicals, those negative factors that those chemicals can cause. This chemical use, there's a question if it's irrational or uninformed. Irrational because you know you're putting all these dangerous chemicals into the ecosystem, or uninformed means you just don't know what you're doing and what you're causing. These chemicals are economically rational or socially rational. Even though people see the risks, there are many effects that trickle down. Of course, the ecological effects. There are also the effects of being a good neighbor. You don't want to have a bad-looking lawn. There are organic lawns. Instead of turning to chemical fertilizers, people try to choose organic chemicals For pesticides, they try to combat pests with other uh, animals such as nematodes that would eat pests. In addition, they choose to have more different types of grasses in their lawn instead of just a monoculture. Lawns is a social construction. Good lawns mean good people. Lawns are a sign of social status. If you had a good lawn, that means you take care of your lawn and you put effort into it and you bring up the upkeep of the neighborhood. Landscape as text means that your lawn tells a story of your life. That it gives a narrative to how you view the outside of your house and the green around you. There is an ideology associated with that. That is how the world is and how it ought to be. It ought to have green grass in every lawn. Social construction is understood to have certain characteristics because people socially agree that it does, as in everyone should have a green lawn. You should keep your lawn up. Political economy, the chemical tailwags and turfgrass dog. Lawns are a big business. People like to keep their lawns green, and there are many things associated into getting those lawns green. Pressures on the law chemical commodity chain. Chemicals are extracted from the earth, are transformed into fertilizers for the lawn, and down to the consumer that lives next door to you. There's a long commodity chain involved. Over accumulation may occur where you just accumulate so many chemicals into producing these green lawns that they begin to top out, and you'll have to find new ways to fertilize the lawn and promote lawn care. Once these chemicals start topping out, then you have to have marketing strategies. You want to manufacture demand for chemicals and lawn products. One way is to use pull marketing. Pull marketing goes and tells you have something wrong with your lawn. You should do this. They want to pull you into buying their product. This over accumulation causes a spatial fix where they want to establish new markets, new resources, and new sites of productions to get your lawn greener. And the chapter closes out with the lawn puzzle about turf grass being one kind of grass that people use on their lawn. Um, Lawns are a recent cultural artifact. These green lawns require chemicals, and these lawn chemicals are mostly hazardous. They are prevalent, they are everywhere. These green lawns are a sign of social status. There is social pressure to decrease chemical use on lawns, but this may affect the greenness of your lawn. The lawn business is global. There are always pressures to seek more chemicals to entice people to buy this and make their lawn greener. There are breakthroughs that seek to keep the lawn commodity chain growing strong.